What's good, people? Live at 9 on my day. Barry's getting his headphones on. I didn't even put mine on yet. So I guess I'm as bad as him. We got a special guest coming in with Mike soon. Yeah, he's coming right now. Corey Cunningham, the owner of Cunningham Comedy. He's coming any minute now. But shout out a couple birthday shout outs. First to Miss Barry, of course.
Mama, I love you.
Big ups to her. And then birthday shout out to Stephanie.
Stephanie Boogie, what up? Happy birthday.
Birthday was today, right?
Nah, birthday is Saturday. But
Saturday, but okay.
Claudia wasn't gonna be around.
Shout out to Claudia.
OG Claudia, what up?
So how you been,
Shout
Barry?
out to Fargo and Black April. Just
Word, I'm still bumping Glock 40.
That's genetics. Shout out genetics too. I know you watch it too. Shout out Shiloh. Shout out everybody.
Shout out everybody.
Shout out everybody. You know that
be holding it down. That be tuning in every week. We know who you are.
We know who you are. You are very much appreciated.
See, I don't know the people on the Facebook Live. They don't know.
Hey, sorry, we can't talk to y'all while we live.
Our producer takes care of that. So like, we don't really. Like, we can engage.
Dave. Shout out Dave.
We can engage.
The rest of the crew's on the way. We
can engage with y'all like on Instagram and Twitter and stuff, but not on Facebook.
Mom, it's on live and now we here.
Word.
Shout out my mom.
Well, what's good, Barry? You been good?
Can't complain, man. You know, my palm been itching, so you know what that means. Money is coming soon.
I thought you were gonna say some bars coming soon.
Oh yeah, I got a couple bars coming now. You know what I'm saying?
What's good, man? Our guest Corey Cunningham in the building.
Like the jacket.
Thanks so much.
You know how
Here you go.
Here we are, man.
Let's see. So how you doing, man?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Pretty good. We just started, so just like a brief introduction about yourself and about what you do and stuff.
Cool. Yeah.
Which one?
Oh,
damn. He messed the whole thing up.
Who did that? We have a little technical difficulties.
Because that Patriots jersey, man. Bad luck.
It's got bad juju, you know?
No.
How does it have bad luck and then going to the Super Bowl? That's weird.
You're in the wrong city for it, that's why.
Word.
Oh, that's what it is.
Are you a big sports guy at all, or?
Yeah, I mean, not like the way I put it is like I love the Jets.
Okay.
Huge.
Hell yeah.
I like the Jets too. You know.
Yeah.
How?
Wait, yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Cause I'm not like
Do you just like their jerseys, the Patriots?
No. I like Tom Brady's willingness to win, something the Jets don't have. But I like the Jets though, like for New York. Like I don't like the Giants. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's like if I had to, like I'm repping New York. Like I love the the Jets, but like they just don't. You know, they don't do it.
It's part of the curse of being a Jets fan. You gotta.
But I respect the loyalty. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, the first Super Bowl I saw was the one that Tom Brady won, and I like the way that he played as a quarterback. So it's like that's like how I got into football, like as far as the quarterbacks are concerned. But you know,
I am excited for this Patriots era to end. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, just let him get his sixth ring. You know, he's the GOAT. There's no better quarterback than Tom Brady.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't really debate that.
That game was
I'm just numb to it at this point.
Yeah,
just accept it and move on.
He's the GOAT. Yeah, really.
That's what I'm saying. For me right now, like a lot of sports are just boring. Like you got the NBA, you got Golden State. They're gonna get another ring.
I will say for basketball, I'm a Celtics guy, just because I wasn't into basketball growing up, but my roommate now is such a big Celtics fan that it's just easy to just he talks about it anyway, so like I just know all the players and stuff like that. I mean, if the Knicks pick up, like that would be fun, because anytime like New York team gets real hot, the city just like ignites.
Right, exactly.
That's like if the Jets win a Super Bowl, like I know Philadelphia was
it'd be mayhem. It'd be crazy.
I wouldn't go to work for a week.
Oh hell no.
Man, let's not live in fantasy world. Right? Let's stick with the
it can
facts.
Hey man, I see it happening soon.
People have been saying the Knicks gonna win a championship since 1973.
Nah, man, I think it's finally gonna happen.
They could get Zion. It could happen.
Yeah, if you get Zion, man, it's a problem.
They've been saying, all right, I'm not gonna. Let's talk about something else.
So, tell us about like your comedy work that you've done and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm a I guess I would say a little more than an amateur comedian, a stand-up comedian here in New York City, kind of on the come up. just trying to wave through it. I've been doing it for about 3 years now. The pros say you always got to do 5 years before you start actually like become a real comedian. So I'm trying to hit that 5-year mark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right now, like I host 3 open mics a week, do as many mics as I can during the week, and then I produce a show like once a month that you were at last night in Niagara, which was that was a barn burner. That was a real good one.
Yeah, it's crowded.
We packed it out. Yeah, that's the nice thing about that kind of room. It's like it's small, but it can still fit everyone.
Yeah.
So like 30 people really feels like packed, but we had like there's my main man. But when we get to like 50 or 60, like it's just like out the doors and it's just the best.
Really, yeah, it was crazy.
And the thing about it is too, it was like I like to do like that's a free show that I put on because like when you start out, like when I start out, you do these shows. Like every comedian goes through it where they go through these Ponzi schemes called bringer shows, where essentially like it's like a pyramid scheme. Like I have to bring 5 people in order to get on stage and get like 5 minutes of time, and like you're doing like clubs up in the Upper East Side and the Upper West Side where no one like wants to go to, and they're paying like $20 cash at the door, and then they have to get like 2 drink minimums to like, and the drinks are like $18 a piece. I made my friends do that for like 2 years just so I could get time and like get my time in. It got so bad towards the end, like I would just like, do like whatever they wanted me to do on stage. Like one time I pretended to get like shit faced. Like what I did was like it got real bad. Like what I did was I got like went to a liquor store and I bought 2 like you know like this flask bottles of vodka, and then I like chopped the top off one, and I boiled the seal cap off of it so it was still like intact. And then I took the other one and I dumped out all the vodka, and I filled it back up with water. And I took the sealed cap and put it back on that one. And then when I got on stage, I went up to the crowd. I was like, "You guys a party crowd? You like to get buzzed every once in a while?" Everyone's like, "Yeah!" And I pulled it out and like cracked it open, and I started chugging it on stage. And everyone was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" And then throughout my whole set, I was just like throwing it back. By the time it was done, and my friends were just like dying. But that like those are the things I had to do to like get them to come out.
The hustle, man.
You got to. The one thing I've learned, the philosophy I live by for sure is for stand-up is no one's here to facilitate your dream. You got to do it on your own. That's it.
That's a fact. So what even got you into stand-up comedy?
Just loved it growing up. Like I remember watching all those Comedy Central Present specials like in the mid-2000s. Like one that sticks out for sure, like Kevin Hart's, like when he came out in like 2004. And then like there's like I went to like the story I kind of tell people is when I was in high school I wanted to be a doctor for a long time growing up, and I went to this youth medical conference at Villanova, and at one point we had to do like a talent show as a group, and no one in my group, like you know when you have like to do a group thing and no one speaks up or does anything.
Yeah, you gotta speak up.
Yeah, and like no one was saying anything. Like we had to do something, so like I just kind of on the fly made up this like skit about like what like making fun of the whole thing. Like it took us a really long time to like we had to walk from our dorms to the classes, and that took forever, and like the lunch ladies were really mean, and I just like made these little like skits, and then I like ran that, and it like did really well. So like, and then like people were so impressed I got to like do a final speech at the end of the like conference. So I kind of like it was like, oh, I got a knack for this, and then I joined my high school's improv team that year, and then like became obsessed with that. And then in college, like I was an English and film major, so like I got a little creative outlet there. But once I started working, I was like, I need to do something. So I kind of fell back to what I originally wanted to do, which was stand up. And I took a class and then another one, and then like just kept hustling from there. And
you were an English major, you said?
Yeah.
How was that, man?
It's a lot of reading.
I can imagine. What made you want to major in English?
I was a film major at first, and then I realized that was too easy to like just do. Like my dad's big joke is that I majored in unemployment. That was so I had to overcompensate. So I did, but I realized like the stuff we were learning in film, like the way you break down movies and stuff, it's like the same thing you do with books. And once I kind of realized that, like I'm just doing the same thing on 2 different mediums, I was like, oh okay. And then I got really into it, and I'm such a nerd now. Like I still reading Friedrich Nietzsche right now.
What's that about?
It's like a 19th century German motivational guy, kind of.
Strand bookstore, that's my store.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
Dope. Yeah.
He kind of talks about like he's kind of like you got to hustle in life. Like you can't like do this like superficial bullshit. Otherwise, you're not gonna get anything out of life. Like, and why do that? And he like breaks down different chapters. And he makes up like this guy named Zarathustra. Yeah, who's like a Jesus kind of character, and he just kind of preaches stuff. It's hard as fuck to read, but like
it was hard, like, cause it's like it has like some mythology kind of.
Yeah,
like,
and he just kind of rambles and stuff, but like it's inspired a bunch of other different authors and stuff.
So not to cut you off, but do you also, besides stand up, do you like write like screenwrite?
Yeah, I wrote a screenplay in college. That was extremely difficult, but it was good. It was based off this wacky story that happened in high school. In high school, at senior prom, a rumor got started that I was gay, so I had to deal with that for 2 weeks. Like, I remember coming back to
2 weeks.
Yeah, I remember coming, because what happened was this is so sad, but it's really funny. At the improv, the girl I asked out to the prom, she was like this chick I really liked, and she was in this prom house that these other like these real bitches that were in. They were like these girls who always wore leather jackets, and they were like awful. And during one of my improv shows, I just like roasted them. I roasted them on stage. And I thought they were too stupid to like get it, but they got it. So I wasn't invited to their prom house, so I couldn't like kind of stay and try to hook up with this chick. I mean, I still did, but then I ended up not getting invited to like any as like a
oh damn.
Yeah, I know. So
you alienated yourself.
So I alienated myself. So, but I was like, fuck it. I just drove, and I was just like partying, like sleep in my car, like I don't care. So I ended up going to that house, and the girls were like, I partied for a little bit, and the girls were like, you gotta like leave, and I was like, fair. So I ran like 4 or 5 miles to this other house, and then I got like really shit faced there, and I lost my phone at one point during the night. And I found it between these couch cushions, and like I just audibly said out loud, like just between the cracks, just like I thought. And some kid was like, "Did you just say you like it between the crack?" And I was like, "Yeah, definitely. That's exactly what I said." And then everyone took that to be the truth.
So you did it to yourself.
I did it to I thought I'd be a funny guy, and the sarcasm didn't hit.
Damn.
And I remember coming back to like math class that following Monday, and this kid Patrick was like, "Yo, dude, you remember when you came out of the closet at our prom house?" And I was like, what are you talking about? So the screenplay was, and then the most ironic part was the girl that I was into. She didn't like me because she was into this other guy who actually was gay, and she was like in denial about that.
What a twist!
So I figured it was enough to write a screenplay about. So I wrote about that, and like the story is like it jumps back and forth between like the story is about my friend and this girl who were at that original prom house, and they're getting married back at that same one, and it bounces back between what happened then and what happens now. And the screenplay was called Then and Now.
Oh,
Sounds dope.
It was pretty good. I got a B.
That's not
wasn't
bad.
bad.
Ever thought about bringing it to like?
I was really bad at grammar. They never taught us it in elementary school. So, English professor once asked me, literally, he's like, "Do you have learning disabilities? Because you can't write. Like, you can. Your ideas are good, but none of this on paper makes sense." I was like, I don't know what to tell you.
I blame the school system, right?
Yeah,
Word.
always.
Oh, yeah,
Whenever you
facts. That's a whole fact. Would you ever bring that script to life, or like, did you ever think about it?
Yeah, I think about I still have it, and I think about like just like going back and tweaking it and stuff. I actually thought about it today. Like I've been thinking about it more and more. Just see like what happens. Like now that I'm older too, and like now especially because I know more comedians in the game, and a lot of people do that kind of stuff, and just see what like if I can get feedback on and stuff. But so like I do that. I write try to write every day. Like I have like a notebook in my bag and just try to write. Most of the time I end up writing quotes down. It's like my thing. It's what I really like vibe on. Cause
Like
Give us a fire quote.
fire quote.
Yeah.
Are they quotes that you make up or quotes that you like research?
Sometimes, but a little bit of both.
Okay.
Ooh.
I be coming up with some shit sometimes. I be like, yeah, I'm about to wait till I hit people.
Word, me too. And I never write it down though. That's my problem. I
Nah, I
gotta
be
get one of
writing it
these.
down now.
See?
Yeah, I'm about to go
Smart.
down.
See what I got.
Make my own book.
I'm just drop some.
Oh wow,
knowledge
you're not
on somebody,
joking. I
bro.
see a lot of.
That's like damn near full.
That's a novel.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Like, Dear
I do
Journal.
this.
Oh, a good one. Because I also do like part of my regiment is like you'll see like I'm such a nerd. Like I have a to-do list that I put down every single day.
Ain't nothing wrong. You getting it done.
I
Shit.
got it.
You organized. That's good.
Gotta hustle, man.
Yeah.
No one's like I said. No one's here to facilitate my dream. I gotta make it myself.
Facts.
So so I was recently watching, and if you guys haven't watched it, you got it for sure. It's on YouTube. Damon Wayans' HBO special, The Last Stand.
I didn't say old. I think
it's 1992 or 1990, just like when he started doing In Living Color.
Oh, nah, I ain't see that.
Just
that's
like,
old.
That's old. Yeah,
I was born in 1990. Hell yeah.
before me.
Yeah, I know. But good quote he had there is, "I ain't selling out. If I do, I gets the hell out." I like that one a lot.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
And then I also am a huge, because I'm single, I always go to Patrice O'Neal, R.I.P.
That's the
yeah.
second
It's like
person.
comedian that
Patrice.
says
You are the
they
second
really-
person that says
Yeah.
like Patrice. Yeah.
Patrice, oh my God, dude, that guy just like, he got it.
Really?
Like, yeah, for sure. Like this quote, like, women compete with other women physically, like guys compete with other guys mentally.
That doesn't make sense. That's a fact.
It's a fact. Like, he was never wrong. It was just brutal honesty. I give it to one of my, I have one of my best friends. She's a girl, and we've never hooked up, which people find like impossible to.
It's not.
It is. I swear to you. I promise. It can happen.
It is. No, I agree with you.
Oh,
I agree
okay.
with you.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were saying like it's not possible.
No, it's not impossible.
Right. And she's like a independent chick, feminist, and I always send her Patrice stuff, and I'm like, just tell me that he's wrong, and she gets like so mad because he's so brutally honest and not for women, but she's like, he's not wrong. I just hate what he's saying.
Nah, Patrice did definitely dropping knowledge on it.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
I'm gonna have to go do some more Patrice research.
Yeah, you listen
Rest
to
in
the
peace.
Black Phillip show, the old archives on YouTube, and then Opie and Anthony with anything with Patrice on him. They like just because Opie and Anthony was a radio show in the early 2000s that had like all those comedians from the Comedy Cellar back then come through, and they were just on the radio for like 4 hours a day. So there's just all of this,
Oh, that could be
all
us
of this
one day. That'd be crazy.
seriously, it'd be the dream, right? They're the guys like, like Joe Rogan, like his podcast, like that one's the biggest one out right now, and he and Joe Rogan always says that O&A, like being on their show, was definitely shaped how his goes, and like so they help shape podcasts for sure. Yeah, I'm a giant comedy nerd.
Hey, listen, that's what it's about.
Be a
That's your
nerd about
craft.
your craft.
I'm
Word.
just obsessed.
I'm gonna ask you because I've been thinking about doing stand up.
Hell yeah.
But like I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out like the way I'm gonna go about doing it. Like I'm writing stuff down and things like that. So like what are some tips would you give somebody if a joke doesn't land? Like how to read
Read the crowd.
not read the crowd, but how do you
Rework it.
rebound. There you go. I was gonna say rebound.
Oh.
I was literally thinking rebound.
Oh, like so, like if it bombs and like you're up there and you
And it's like, whoa. You know what I'm saying?
a good always is you always address it. That will always get a laugh.
That's so
When
true.
like if you're just like, oh well, that didn't work out there, gang. We're just gonna move on to the next one. That does well, and not like, yeah, just like moving, like addressing it and then moving on, and then just like not, and then just forgetting that it happened for sure. Like,
Because a lot of things I be wanting to say, I be like, damn, like sometimes I could be real insensitive. So I'm like, I don't want to hurt people's feelings with this. Sometimes you got to. Cause
Nah, bro, you comedian. You can't.
yeah, you can't be
I
worried
know,
about
but
afraid
it's
of
like,
that.
yeah, but then you don't know whose feelings you hurt, and then
So?
they always want to come back and
Exactly.
bite you.
Oh, for you.
Nah, if you just record yourself, because like that's the one thing you definitely got to do. So you just record yourself, and then you go back and you figure out like, because like I'm sure whatever the idea is, you're not trying to hurt anyone, and if someone like takes it the wrong way, that's their problem. But like you can always find a way to make the idea come out the right way.
Now, are you saying that because you've seen what's happening to like Kevin Hart and how everybody's like coming at him? Is that why you're like?
Yeah, because it's like, I be trying to keep it real, you know what I'm saying? And it's like there's some stuff that I see that's going on in the world that just don't make sense. And I want to have like my own viewpoint and share that with the world. Like things that
Sure.
I think about. But like some of the stuff I think about, a lot is going to offend a lot of people, but it's true.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
it's how I feel. And then it's like somebody might hold that against me. Like if I want to do something later on in life, I'm like, but you said in this thing that you feel like this. I don't like that. I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to have to deal with it because I said what I said, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Patrice had another good quote about that. He was, because I worry about that too. Like, because I want to say real shit. I don't want to just like placate to the crowd and all that, because you can't do it. You just feel like a big old phony. But he said like, if you want to speak self-righteously fully, you just got to address your own bullshit first.
True.
So if you just like, and that's like the balance like that, and like you really, once I like heard him say that, I was like, oh yeah, that's what all the best comedians do. Like they trash themselves, and then you gives yourself the platform to talk about. And that's what
you're not judging nobody, but it's some stuff that just don't make sense, and it's like that's what the part. Like some things about me don't make sense. So I see what you're saying. It's like if you tell about yourself, then you just be like, all right, now let's get to the rest of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you bring it around full circle.
that's dope. Do you ever think about like have you ever had like a heckler?
Oh yeah.
How do you deal with hecklers? Let's hear it.
I can give you like it all depends. Like the best story that I have is so like that roller skate joke I did.
Mm-hmm.
There's a joke that I do. God, I could just do it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
one of the things that I almost did it tonight. I was gonna rollerblade here because like I rollerblade all over the city.
I mean, it was raining today, so be careful.
That doesn't matter. It's psychotic. Like, because I just
move through the rain,
dude. Like I just love it. Like I can't like. And then here's the thing. Like it's like the reason why I love it is because like it brings me back to high school. Because like everyone calls me faggot. Relax. They didn't call me that. Okay. They call me roller fag. Anyway. So I do a joke like that, and one time in a club was a guy, I said that, and I call myself faggot, and a guy goes, yeah, because you look like one. And I go, Dad?
That's a
That's
perfect
funny.
comeback.
That's on point.
If you could rebound quick with like a punchline, or like this other time I was working my open mic, and there's this girl named Natalia, and she's like this beautiful Israeli chick, but she's a total bitch, and she's a total gold digger. And I was doing this joke. I was working on this. Yeah.
Names and all that.
Natalia,
Okay.
gold digger. She ain't messing with you.
I was doing this. I used to live in the Upper East Side, and I had this apartment that had no windows. And I used to say like I would ask girls in the crowd and I asked her the whole premise of the joke is like let's say we went on the most perfect date ever, right? And like what would we do? And they say X, Y, Z, and I'm like, it's going great, and you actually want to go back with me? We get back to my room, and I open the door, and there's just no windows. And a girl would be like, yeah, I would leave. And it's like, of course you would, because I look like a serial killer. And so I asked this girl, I was like, Natalia, let's pretend you and I go on a date. And she just goes, never going to happen. And then everyone starts laughing, and I wait out the laugh, and I go, I said pretend, bitch.
How did that go?
Because the best is like when she said never gonna happen, that got a huge laugh. But then when I said that, it just like blew the
That's
fucking
hilarious.
room out the door, and it gave me all the authority back in the room, which is great, which is what you want. So it's a matter of like, yeah, you just gotta be quick and like kind of ready to go with those things.
All right, that's what's up. Like, how do you prepare for like shows and stuff? Because I know at first you were getting butterflies, of course. But now, like, do you still get butterflies? Do you just pop up in there? You're just like, you know what? Turn it on.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
I mean, like, so it's like kind of like being a ball player, like where you just like you run the play so many times.
Okay.
It just becomes when it's time to go, you just don't think about it. You know that like it's already in you. I do like I said, I do like 3 open mics a week, and like when I'm hosting, so it's not like I'm doing like 4, because everyone does like 4.5 minutes of their set. For me, it's like as a host, I'm doing the full 2-hour show. Like I'm picking all the names, and that's like the best part, because like the way I look at it is, and this is how like I argue with different comedians about it, but I hold true to this. Like, you know the 10,000 hour rule, like the Malcolm Gladwell thing. If you do something for 10,000 hours, you'll become a master of it. So everyone subscribes to that, and that's why everyone does the open mics. Like, if I put my time in, blah blah blah. But like with me, I think it's even further. It's like active engagement time versus passive engagement time. And if you're at an open mic, you're doing a lot of passive engagement. Like, you're sitting there, you're waiting for your name to get called out of the bucket. Like, you're not really paying attention to some people. But like with me, I'm hosting, I'm running the show. I have to be firing on all cylinders the whole time. Right. So like I'll do my set, work on that. But then there's also those pockets like when I'm bringing people up, or like there's a transition when someone's coming off stage and I'm bringing the next person up. There's like a little window of time where if I come up with a joke real quick based off that last person's set, that could get a big laugh. And so like it keeps my brain constantly working. So like I get, instead of like just that 4.5 minutes, I'm now getting like, 10 to 15 minutes of on stage time. So like doing that, like I'll work on my set while I'm up there, but then I also have that like time to practice like improv and stuff. So that makes me even more loose. So like last night, like when I was telling you when I was talking about the first time I got a blowjob, and you were like, I saw you, and you,
Is that a true story?
oh yeah,
Oh my god.
oh yeah,
That's disgusting.
Oh my god.
when I was 19,
Oh my
the first girl who gave me a blowjob made my dick bleed.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
It was great material. It's just it was bad in the moment.
Oh man, I had a question.
Well, no. Oh, so like those like pockets of time where I'm doing the in between stuff and like improving and all that. Like that's what gets me ready for like when I saw your reaction. I was like, oh, I'm gonna address this right now because this is just like.
No, I love that. I like when comedians do that. I feel like some comedians be scared too.
Yeah.
Because they're scared of like what person how like they might react. But no, I was totally cool with it.
Yeah, you guys were amazing.
That was dope.
It was great.
So you go off the reaction of the crowd?
Yeah, definitely. You have to be ready, and that's the thing too. Like I know, like I don't have a script. Like I don't have every word planned out, but I know what the premise is of my joke, and I know what the setup is, and I know what the punchline is. But I'll like and I gauge everyone's reactions to sort of tailor my delivery to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like if like I was prepared, like if things weren't gonna go well. Like if things weren't gonna go well, I could pivot to other because I have other jokes, but like those are the things I really wanted to do that night. Like one time at another show at Niagara, I had 2 of my comedians drop that night, and so I had to like hold out for a headliner to show up because he was showing up later, and I had to be on stage for just under a half hour. So I was just like in my brain, just going through all the archive stuff that I have, just pulling everything out until it was cool. I mean, it was tough. It was the first time where I was like. I could feel myself getting tired, like my abs started getting tired just from doing so much talking and like projecting, but I could feel the crowd getting like tired too.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
So what do you do in that predicament when like, because I've been to like, because I make music too, so it's like
Nice.
I've been places where it's like you gotta. It's like, let's say like a person isn't coming out. Like let's say like I went to go see the Locks, right? And I don't know what was going on, but they didn't come out, so they had to keep putting out like openers or whatever.
Yeah.
And after a while, it's like after your 5th opener, it's like, come on, like we ain't come here to see these people. It's like how would you? So it's like that you still have to keep control of the crowd so that they don't get rowdy and be like, yo, I want my money back and things like that. So like you was able to control that. So what would you give advice about that?
You can't back down. You can't for a second show that you're nervous or that like you can really I could see the situation and everyone was kind of like on the understanding that I shouldn't be up there for that long. But like at the same time it's like, well, this is what it is now. So we're just going to keep going with it, and you can't like show any sort of doubt or like reservations about that. Like it was cool cuz like as uncomfortable as it was like my back was up against the wall. It's time to find out like what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of like with the MTA, like they're like the worst with, they're like the best with like the way that they the way MTA thanks you for like when they're literally making you like 30 minutes late. They're like, yeah, we're gonna be here stuck for about a little bit, but thank you for your patience. Like you don't got my patience. Like I'm upset. Like how you gonna thank me for my patience and I can't even express myself? You know what I'm saying? It's like you but you have no control over it. So it's like, do you see like with the crowd? It's like, do you thank them like if you could tell they're being rowdy, you be like, oh, thank you guys for sticking with me, or do you just try to just keep on try to?
Yeah, I'll definitely like acknowledge like a good example of that is like on Sunday night, I was hosting my mic and my co-host went first, which is not usually our usual scheduling program. He just wanted to like quote unquote challenge himself. I usually go first because like I believe in that. Like I go out like full ham, put out a lot of energy because I know, especially with like an open mic where people are sort of down already, I think that if I put out a lot of energy, like trickle down, I'll get like a little bit more from people. People feel more comfortable to like open up if I'm like up there making an ass of myself or I'm doing a good job or anything like that. But he kind of came out with flat energy. And then we had this guy who essentially like his name is Dimitri and he looks and acts like the Unabomber. And
I don't even know what that acts like.
Like a very egg-shaped head with fucked up teeth, and he just so guys, I'm trying to get a new job, and I'm just like, and like we had like audience members in there. I'm just like, oh my god, like this is so bad. And he like goes through his set, and it's just bad. And then this next guy who recently just got banned, thank God. His name is Cheese. And his name is Cheese. That's what he goes by. He's the worst. He's just like he talks about like how his mom had like cancer, and like he doesn't make anything funny about it. And he gets up there and he immediately tries to do like crowd work, and it doesn't work. And he just does the thing that I can't stand when people say at open mics the most. I don't even want to be here. It's like, you paid to be here. Why are you like? And like we have these audience members. You think they want to hear you complain about how like you don't want to be here? That's so crazy. Like, it took us a while. Luckily, this next guy got on afterwards, and he like has his act where he reads a poem he made up about a pimp, and it's like it would like how he goes like 150% on it, and like so that was enough to get the energy back in the room up. But when I took over as the hosting spot, I literally went to the crowd. I was like, guys, I know we had a rough start. Like those guys were so bad, and like because they had left, and I like just addressed, and I was like, thank you so much for staying. Like we really appreciate it. I promise you, we're gonna get a kick it up a notch. And then I did my set, and that got them back into it. But like sometimes you just got to acknowledge what it is. But then like when you acknowledge it, you then have to go even that next level to make sure that like, okay, I've acknowledged it, but now I'm gonna like double down and make it better because I promised you I was gonna do that.
So in those situations, do you ever like help one of them? Like you might like pitch something or like make fun of them or clown them. Like there's like one. You guys remember that roast with Jamie Foxx? I don't know if you're familiar with it. You know what I'm talking. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It was a roast of somebody, and this comedian was like roasting him, and he was just doing awful. So like Jamie Foxx steps in, and doesn't really like help him, but he like clowns him and like has the crowd go. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So have you ever had to do something like that?
Mm-hmm. If someone does
like bombing,
if someone's bombing, yeah. I will, whatever the last 30 seconds of their material is, I'll try to make a quick joke or just acknowledge sometimes like I know a couple times like this one girl has like she does really, really sexual content, and like it doesn't always work, and then like I'll just get up there and be like, a very lustful take from so and so, like you just like things where it's like you kind of like you clown them.
Fun at it.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you too, like, what advice would you give somebody that is not good but they won't stop?
Just stop.
They don't want to stop.
Don't grab the mic, like no.
It's like not tonight.
Exactly.
I hope you got a lot of money to pay for these mics, and I hope that you're cool to everyone in the room. That's all I could say. And try to get better. Like that's the thing. Like I don't like. And like I said before, I just can't stand when people say they don't want to be there and act like they don't want to be there, because it's like, you paid for this. Yeah. Like yes, you do. Like you're just lying to us and yourselves, and like you being the like, you're not getting any cool points for being the jaded comic. Like I get it that it's hard, but like that's why we're all here. So like, shut up. But
and I feel like not to offer piggyback what you're saying, it's like some people, they don't know their true call. Like I can tell like this is your passion, this is your calling or whatever. Some people just want to try it out, so it's like they just doing it just to do it, and then it's like they're not getting the same rewards from it because it's not their real. They don't got their heart into it, so it's like they just going up there. And that's why they don't feel like being up there, because it's not where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who like. You'll see that with like every once in a while, like every year we have what's called fantasy football season, where people who do fantasy football, the punishment is you have to do an open mic set.
Oh man,
yeah. Which is very interesting because it brings a really rowdy crowd that doesn't really know what they're getting themselves into. Mm-hmm. But like those guys, when they go up on stage, like they're just doing it. I mean, they're doing it because like they lost, but like you can tell that they're just doing it because they want to like look cool and funny in front of their friends. Like they don't actually have any sort of. Some of them like try like, oh yeah, I'll be back, and it's like you're not.
Because like material and things.
Yeah, like and they're. It's just like their material is like half-assed and stuff like that. Luckily, like the good and bad thing about an open mic is it's pretty soul dragging. So like it kind of weeds out people who like think they're there for the cool factor. So, yeah.
No,
go.
Oh, I had a question. Cause before like everybody else got there, I was there, and you were doing music.
Yeah.
Like, can you speak on that? Like,
definitely.
Like, how long have you been doing the music thing?
As the intro?
The comedy, yeah.
I've been
That was
doing.
dope.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
Um,
Nobody else got into the. Nobody else
No.
got into what I was saying. I was like, to the window, to the wall. That was
I
fire.
played an acoustic version of "Get Low" by Lil Jon.
Oh wow.
Oh,
It's
Yeah.
unfortunate too. I came right after the show was over. Like I thought it was one of those, events where it say you start at 8:15, but then I seen the crowd and I was like, nah, it starts on time.
nah, bro. You in a white neighborhood, bro. They
I was
start
like,
on
all
time.
right.
They start on time, bro.
I was like, oh, 8:15. That means around 8:30ish. Like got there at 9.
8:15 on the dot.
It is a very white.
I got
crowd.
there, everybody was leaving. I was like, what's going on? He was like, yo, you just missed the whole show. I was like, really? But I was getting there at like a good intermission time or something. But
Nah, the music started. So when I started hosting about a year ago, those open mics, I started playing music about right before I went to the mics to give myself, because like when I play music, it gets me out of my head. It gives me like a natural sense of rhythm, and I wasn't good at singing in the beginning, so like that was something that I had to like project my voice and like so like it just got me in the right mindset. And then when I started producing those shows at Niagara, like the first thing I noticed when I did the first one is like no one wants to be in the room when nothing's going on.
So true.
So it was hard to get people to be like, "Hey, show's starting," like, and it just like made this really awkward vibe, and I like hated it. So I was like, well, what if I just like played music as something to like kind of draw people in, regardless whether it's like good or bad. Like, and then for me, it was like the best part was like I could hear people like talking and stuff while I was playing. I was like, oh, good, I'm bombing. Like no one's paying attention. This is awesome. Like I'll bomb here, and then I don't have to bomb on stage when I go on later. So it was like good that it just like kind of kills that that awkward energy that goes in the room. And then like last night, like with like Get Low, I was like I've been trying to incorporate more, like make it more of an act as we get started.
Yeah.
But
Okay. No, it was dope. I liked it.
I'm glad. Yeah,
I was singing along
Thank you.
personally.
I'm trying to. What I'm trying to do next is produce, because I got a buddy like the last show, like one of my good friends from college. He's a musician, so I brought him up at the last show to play a song that he was like putting out for his album, and I played harmonica to it, and like it's pretty cool. Yeah. And I'm trying to produce a show where his band plays, and then I'll open with stand up, because with these shows it's all about just whatever gives me more stage time, because like that's how you get better.
That's like a Dave Chappelle.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I see you.
So what else you got planned? You got any goals, plans, anything
Got any
for
future
the year
shows?
in the future? Yeah.
So, yeah, I have to figure that out now, because the bad news is I got this guy just locked in every Wednesday at Niagara for a comedy show. Like,
Man.
I was going back and forth with him today. He was being nice, but he was just like, he was just being kind of an asshole, because like he has the time locked, like and that's fine, like that's just the reality. I'll have to find a new bar to do it at. The thing that sucks is like Niagara was so good because it's in the East Village where all my friends live, so it's easy for them to come there. And then a Wednesday is nice because, Thursday night people start going out, like they'll go out after work. It's kind of hard to draw them in. There's like those work happy hours. Friday, well, now you're really intruding on people's like night out. I could do a Saturday in the afternoon, but that's kind of weird. Like it's tough. Like Wednesday was perfect because like
it's the middle of the week.
it's the middle of the week. I'm kind of like, now I've gone through the tough part of the week. Like Monday, Tuesday, like it's
And sometimes Wednesday people just be looking for something to do.
exactly.
Like just to get through to getting paid on Friday, or like just to get through the weekend, like something on Wednesday. Like I hear you on that.
And
but there's a lot of comedy clubs on the West Village, like that whole strip, like around.
Yeah, like McDougal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Google. So you could probably look into one of those and see what you can find there.
That's what I'm gonna try to do, because like I was trying to tell the guy, because at the end of the night the bar manager pulled me aside and he's like, I'm sorry for the mix-up, because like that guy had a show planned that night too. Luckily he was like, like I'll cancel mine, you just do yours tonight. And I was the manager was like, well, I don't want to like lose you, because like obviously like you've done like amazing business for I mean, that bar was packed.
Yeah, it was.
It definitely
And,
was.
like-
I can attest to that.
Yeah, like it was popping off. It was great. And I was like, yeah, like I was trying to tell the guy, like, listen, if you just give me the end of the month, like I'll have you on the show, and like you just let me do the legwork, and then like you can just. And he was like, no, like I'm getting decent traction. I don't want to diss the guy, but I find weekly shows are so hard.
Yeah.
Because like I can do like monthly shows where it's like you give enough people time to clean it off their palate, and they're willing to come back. A weekly show, it's just like you have to like stand outside, bark for your show. Maybe you can get maybe he'll kind of run out of steam.
Fingers crossed, right?
Fingers crossed. But I'll find.
You gotta kill the competition, man. You go somewhere else, you make it hot over there, and then when they want you back over there, they gotta have that bag for you.
Yeah.
Tell him I said that. Time to get paid.
I'll let him know the direct quote.
Direct quote from Barry.
So we'll figure. So like that's the next goal is probably find another bar. The guy was like, you can make it work on another night. I was like, I know that it's not going to. Like, stop trying to tell me like there's a solution. Like, I'll find the solution. Don't worry. He's like, I'm just trying to make sure there's no bad blood. I'm like, there's no bad blood. Like, this is just a reality. Like, I'm willing to deal with it. So that's the next goal right now. And then like trying to get my friends probably get the friends music show going so I can do stand up there, and then trying to get past the clubs, which is kind of like this weird secret, like there's some sort of secret recipe that you have to figure out. I don't know yet. I've got relatively close at Stand Up New York, but because I did a show there, like one of those bringer shows, and I killed. And the manager brought me outside, and like he gave me notes and feedback on my set, which was good. And then like the next night, he brought me back to the club, to the bar, and that's where I actually met the guy who headlined that night.
Oh yeah, that dude was hilarious.
Wasn't he great?
He was hilarious.
Yeah, he's on the Late Show with Colbert. Like that was awesome, and like.
Oh really?
That's
yeah.
The dude, yeah.
Oh,
that's the dude that.
We got his contact information.
Nice.
He's hilarious.
Yeah,
man.
he's a great guy, and like it was like crazy that like you just kind of like that night I was just like, yeah, I have this show at Niagara, and like the manager at the bar too is like he was introducing me to everyone. Felt like I was at a fraternity rush event again. Like I was just like, oh okay, I know how to do rush mode, and like he was, and like all of a sudden my show became like a currency, like because like the guy's like, this is Corey, he's got a show at Niagara. Like all of a sudden like I had some sort of value. So like when I met Jeff, I was like, yeah, I'm like looking for someone to like do my show, and he like popped up in his calendar like, yeah, I'll do it, and then that was that, and I was like, wow. Simple as that. So like trying to go back there and get like a little more, create some more networking there and try to like land myself in. If you get past the club though, then you start doing like the late night spots, and that's where you really start like
getting killer.
Yeah, well you face some pretty harsh crowds because it's like people that do not want to watch you, but they're there anyway, and it's late night. But that's okay because like the mics that I host are pretty much like that. I do 10:30 at night on Friday night, so tomorrow I'll be doing 10:30 at night, and then Sunday night at 8:30, and then I do Monday.
Where at?
A bar called the Climate Lounge on East 7th between 2nd and 1st.
That was the other one that you told me about.
Yeah, I do those, and like 10:30 on Monday night, and they could be Friday at 10:30 is usually like a party sort of crowd, but Sunday at 8:30 and Monday at 10:30, those are pretty soulless. People are not
hungover.
Yeah, people aren't psyched to be there. They're just kind of trying to put in their time. But I like that aspect because it's like if I can make those people laugh, then like the jokes are gonna kill. So like and like like where people actually want to see comedy. So I like that's why I'm not like if I had to do those late night spots or like what's called a check spot, which is where you're doing the time where they're dishing out the checks for everyone to pay for their drinks. So it's like tough because no one's paying attention to you. So you're not gonna like do that well. But like I don't care. Like as long as I get to a point where I don't have to necessarily like, bring people and I can just go and do it. That's the main goal. Like the closer I can get to that, the better.
Not at the same time.
Yeah, they were running short on time. So tell us where like we can like check out your stuff, where to follow you, all that stuff.
Follow me on Instagram, C_Cunningham 1010, and I'm gonna build a website soon, but I'll throw that information out. But yeah, just follow me on Instagram, and I'll put the more followers I get, the more content I'm gonna put out there.
Definitely.
There you go. And anytime you want to come to Live at 9 and promote something, you know we here.
For sure, yeah.
Like, open invitation.
Yeah, let us know when you find another spot, man.
Yeah, for sure. This is a great time.
Of course.
Yeah, definitely, man. Appreciate it.
All right, y'all. It's been real.
It's been very
Live
real.
at 9. Signing
Live at
out.
9. Shout out to who else? Red Carpet Curl was in Guillermo and Chill Scott here in Victor.
Hey.
Oh yeah, shout out to them
Shout
for
out.
tuning in.
Y'all, man.
Shout out to everybody else. Peace out, y'all.
Peace out.